Morning. Too much phone use is not good for you, mate. This is a common feature of people coming and going at their ABC in recent times. Keep the phone pressed to the side of the head, and a courteous old bloke with a GoPro will refrain from trying to engage in lengthy conversation. I did hope to have a word with Peter, and maybe on the way out of the studio later this morning I will have a chance. I'm a subscriber to the Australian newspaper. I used to get The Age, and in Newcastle and Albury when I lived up there, I used to get the Sydney Morning Herald. But probably 10 years ago I totally lost patience with finding that every single page in the news and opinion sections of the paper would be a rabid anti-Tony Abbott, anti-coalition articles. And eventually I thought, I don't need this shit. And so I stopped getting the paper for a while, and then there was a subscription offer for the Australian, so I started getting it. And I marvel at the lefty criticisms of the Murdoch press. Now, Murdoch is entitled to offer his advice to the editors of the newspapers, but I've heard people in high positions in the Murdoch, in the News Limited empire, say that they're never given instructions on content. Maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. But yesterday's Australian included an article by Peter Van Onselen, which, in my opinion, demonstrated admirably the plurality of opinion in the Australian newspaper, because it was essentially a harangue at people who don't agree with Peter Van Onselen on a range of issues. He made reference to the campaign in the Warringah, the seat of Warringah in New South Wales, between the sitting member Tony Abbott and the purported independent Zali Steggall. And in the article, Peter Van Onselen noted that Zali Steggall is a lawyer. Now, I spent 26 years as an auditor in the ATO, and my opinion of lawyers has always been either low or at best guarded. But my experience in the tax office was that, generally speaking, if there was an outrageous tax scheme being promoted or taken up in the community, it was almost certainly a scheme that had originated with a smart-ass lawyer or two. So Zali Steggall is a lawyer. I'll come back to that. Malcolm Farr's on his way. Good morning, Malcolm. Welcome back to Melbourne. You'll see that this is still underway after 7 months.
Oh yeah, but when they open Barry Boulevard, the public will be delighted.
Mate, this is our new mighty erection. They're up to level 82. This has taken about 2 years, and this space here has taken about a year. So that gives you some idea.
I know. Some of these projects, they built the pyramids quicker.
That's true. Have a good day, mate. Where was I? That's right. Zali Steggall is a lawyer, and my experience of lawyers has led me to be somewhat sceptical. And you know who else was a lawyer? Julia Gillard was a bloody lawyer. She was a partner in Slater and Gordon. Now, some time ago, and maybe it's still their slogan, Slater and Gordon, not a problem. Of course, that doesn't apply to shareholders of Slater and Gordon, because in recent years they've had all kinds of problems. But Julia Gillard was a partner in Slater and Gordon. But she left Slater and Gordon, I believe, in 1995 after an interview with the partners about her involvement with an officer, a then officer of the AWU, Bruce Wilson. And she had commenced, if my recollection serves, a sexual relationship with Bruce Wilson. She, in her capacity as a partner in Slater and Gordon, had commenced a sexual relationship with an officer of a client firm of Slater and Gordon. When the other partners of Slater and Gordon became aware of her involvement in matters relating to Bruce Wilson and the AWU Workplace Reform Association, a meeting was called. And it appears that as a result of information received and the discussions with Ms. Gillard, that trust within the organisation evaporated. And Ms. Gillard, as I understand it, left Slater and Gordon, and as I understand it, never practiced law again. Peter Van Onselen is